Welcome to RadioActive. Today, me and Ian are so excited to be joined by the bass player of Black Veil Brides, Lonny Eagleton. Lonny, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm actually a little sick, so you might hear a little cracking in my voice, but it sounds worse than it is. So I'm actually doing pretty good. And yeah, full disclosure, I am sick, so that's it. But also, I'll start the interview off with a story here. So it's not only because I'm sick, I'm also working on this cover just for fun of an Audio Slave song. And I was like, I'm going to try singing vocals on it because that's something I've been working on lately is like, I don't know, trying to put my voice out there, just like vocally, just to kind of go out of my comfort zone. And it was a huge mistake picking Chris Cornell. But anyways, I was like, I'm going to try this. And I sang it all day doing takes, trying to make it sound good for this recording that I'm just doing for fun. And I kind of threw out my voice and doing that too. So it's a mixture of being sick and just trying to sing way out of my range all day. And I did like 4,000 takes and it still doesn't even sound releasable yet. So, well, I'm working on it. Anyways, all ready to do the interview here.
That's how all covers go, though. You do so many takes and just never a perfect one. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm having some trouble with the Zoom thing now. I fixed the problem.
What? Whoa!
What's going on?
What the hell's going on here?
Cassidy, what's up?
Guys, it's Cassidy.
Wow.
I told you we had some fun stuff up our sleeves, and one of those was having none other than Cassidy Downs join us for today.
Wow, surprise guest. Super cool. I'm honored to be in your interview here, Cassidy.
So I guess we can kind of just segue this into the start of the interview. We want to start off by talking about Trinity of Terror Tour Part 3 at Cedar Rapids. Did anything particularly fun happen at the show, Cassidy and Lonny?
I think
I don't know, Lonny, what happened?
That was the show where Cassidy here actually got called up on stage to play flute in the show. Yeah, I think it was your first time playing music in front of a live crowd. Is that right?
Other than pep band in college, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean that's a cool experience too. But yeah, this was a rock show in an arena. And for that to be like your first gig on stage, like on a touring gig or whatever. Yeah, pretty amazing. And you did so good. You just rocked it out there. You knew our songs and you played the melodies on flute. And it was I don't know, highlight of the tour, I would say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was kind of nervous before, but there was plenty of time to kind of, I guess, calm the nerves and mentally prepare myself. So I was very glad that you guys played last for that show.
Well, we were happy to have you on there. And it was cool because you had tweeted the band like every day for 250 days or something.
It was like 368 days or something.
Yeah. 368. Just we're seeing these tweets like, I want to play flute on stage. So that kind of dedication, it's like, man, yeah. And you rocked it. You rocked it up there. I'm sure it's on YouTube, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh
so,
yeah. It's out there.
Or it's in your vlog because you vlogged that.
It is. Right? Yes, it is. Yeah. As long as you skip past like the part of the end where I cry, then you'll be fine. In relation to that, as like, what was it like to see me, or like as someone who plays like the least rock and roll instrument on stage with you guys in front of like thousands of people? Like what was that like for you, like from your perspective?
For me, it was just cool having you up there. I was proud of you in that moment. You faced your nerves and you got up and did it. And I think that's really what it's all about. That's what any of us are trying to do. We're just trying to step out of our comfort zone and grow as people every day, whether it's musically or, in our relationships or whatever it is, family, friends, just trying to grow as people. And that's totally what you did. So from my point of view, I was just so proud of you. I was like, yeah, she's doing it. And I don't know, I was just watching you and I was like, yeah. And the crowd seemed to be loving it too. Like it was awesome. And I don't know, every show is unique in its own way, but on tour, they all do get kind of repetitive too, especially like on Trinity of Terror, every band was doing the exact same set list every night. So I think there was, I forget how many shows there were on that tour, but with all 3 legs, it was, I mean, might've been over 100 shows or something. I
Yeah.
can't recall. So that was really a nice way to kind of shake up the rhythm a bit, was having you up there. And I was so glad that we could make it happen.
Yeah, that was completely unexpected. So
All I
thank you
remember,
guys.
Cassidy texted me and she was like, "It's happening." Just that's it. It's happening. And I was like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome. You were so excited and so giddy, and that speaks 1,000 words, dude.
Yeah, because well, I kind of only started it because I was like, what's the worst they could say? Like the worst they could say is like no. And like my dad always taught me like it doesn't hurt to ask. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna try and like dedicate my time to hopefully make something happen and maybe make my flute playing and stuff that I put so much time and effort into like get like a taste of something that'll be, it's worthwhile, all the like, I don't know, frustration that comes along with all that. But yeah, kind of segueing into the next question. Do you think like hypothetically that it could again like happen to either like me or even just another fan like down the road who also plays instruments to have an opportunity like that happen?
Yeah, I mean, potentially. It's hard to say just right now in this interview in this moment, because as you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes into a show, and there's things like insurance and liability claims and stuff like that. If any injuries happen on stage or whatever, which I found out firsthand when I broke my leg in the middle of our show. So I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, I'd certainly be open to the idea. I'm sure we all would. We all love giving back to the fans and letting them express themselves in whatever way they can. So it's not that it would be a no. It would just have to be the right moment and the right show and the right opportunity at that moment in time.
Oh yeah, definitely. One thing I want to add about like that whole experience. So after the show, there was a girl who was, I think she was like 16 or 17. Her mom and her like came up to me as I was like trying to get my stuff together. So I had to go meet you guys backstage for the best experience and stuff. And she came up to me and she's like, it was so cool to like see you up there. She's like, I play the flute and stuff. And she's like, I've never seen like somebody who plays like my instrument like be at like a rock show or metal show and play on stage with them. And she's like, and then she wanted a picture with me and everything. So somewhere out there, if you see a picture of me with this like high school girl, it's probably from that show.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're celebrity.
Well, speaking of being on the road, Lonny, I want to know, when you guys are out touring in the States, what are some of your favorite foods to eat? Like, are there any specific well-known like international restaurants that you guys frequent when you're touring in a specific like location, like maybe Cincinnati, St. Louis, Dallas, Denver, something like that?
Andy turned me on to that place in Cincinnati. I think it's called Sky Burger or something. I'm hoping I'm getting that right. Do you know, does that ring a bell to anyone? Or Sky Chili?
No.
Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm probably getting it wrong. I think it's Sky Chili. It's something in Cincinnati. That's a famous chili place. Anyways, I don't know. We try to change it up a lot night to night. Because there tends to be a lot of eating out when you're on the road. So we try to do it healthy. Sometimes we'll grocery shopping, and there's a fridge on the tour bus that we'll stock up occasionally. But I don't know. One thing I noticed, because this is kind of funny, because I recently went through all my expense receipts for tax season, which so unrock and roll of me to bring that up. But I realized that I kind of keep Panda Express in business when I'm in LA, because I had like, I don't know, the like 40 receipts from Panda Express, like, because there was this hotel that we were staying at during rehearsals for every Trinity of Terror leg. and it was right next to a Panda Express, or walking distance anyways. So I would I would go there like way more than I care to admit. The orange chicken is so good. So I guess Panda Express would be my answer, but I'm open to all kinds of food, really. I'm pretty yeah, you agree?
No,
Ian loves
dude.
Panda
Oh my
Express.
God.
Yeah,
It's
a good.
Raising Cane's and Panda Express for old Ian here. Oh my
Nice.
God.
Yeah, it's great. The orange chicken is just amazing. Like I remember one time I had it like 3 times in one day, every meal. So that's it's
I've
pretty good.
never had Panda Express.
I don't think it
Oh, I
exists in
haven't either.
Canada.
I don't think it does, because me and Ian were having this conversation because he was eating it, and I said I didn't think we had it here.
Yeah,
I've
actually,
never had it. So
so they definitely don't have it in Canada. But the way I came to learn about it is we were actually staying in a hotel in LA like 2 years ago, and Falling in Reverse was staying at the same hotel as us, and I bumped into Max and Christian in the lobby, who play a guitar in the band, and they recognized me and I recognized them because I think we all follow each other on Instagram, but we had never met. And we're like, oh, hey. And then Max was super nice. He's like, hey, we should go for dinner tonight and like, shoot the breeze. And I was like, sure. And he's like, are you into Panda Express? And I was like, what's that? Like, I'd never heard of it. And he was like, what? And he's like, that's like saying you've never heard of McDonald's. And I was like, yeah, we don't have it in Canada. And he's from Montreal, so I thought he would know this. But anyways, he went to Panda Express, and it quickly became my favorite restaurant in the country, all thanks to Max. So you know what Andy always jokes about with me? In Canada we say parkade, which is a parking garage
parkade,
in
yeah.
America. Like him and I were driving to a music video once, and we're looking for parking, and I was like, oh, pull into this parkade. And he's like, what?
No, the first time I said toque to Ian, he
Yeah.
had no idea what the hell I was talking about.
What the hell is a toque again?
We had this
Remind-
conversation. It's a beanie.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what we
Wait.
call it here. When I'm in the US, I just say beanie so that nobody makes fun of me, but we all know it's a toque.
again, with like touring and stuff, you guys were just recently in the UK. So, and I know you had posted on Patreon about some attractions and stuff that you saw there, but are there like certain attractions or places that you'd like to visit when you're in like a certain city or country?
Yeah. Usually I'll try and take as much advantage as I can of being in a certain part of the world. Of course, the priority is playing the concert. But usually what I'll do is I'll just Google like tourist attractions in London. And then usually whatever's at the top of the list is what appeals to my eyes. Really a cool thing when I was in London, this was super neat. So I had gotten some old addresses from where my great grandma used to live, who actually grew up in London and moved to Canada when she was a teenager. And I was given these addresses from my current, like my grandma now, who's still alive. So it was her mom. And I went to her old house that she used to live at in the early 1900s, like 1903 or something. I went to the church that she was baptized in. I walk in, and the priest there was like introduced themselves to me. And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, I have this address. My great grandma was baptized here like over 100 years ago, 104 years ago it was. And they were like, oh, we have all the records of everyone who's been baptized here. And I was like, no way. And they came back with this old book, dusted it off, opened it. And sure enough, it all checked out. That was her name right there in handwriting and the date. And it had her parents' names and everything. And it was just so amazing. And I got to see like the stone basin that she got baptized in over 100 years ago. And it's just cool to see that kind of ancestry firsthand from where my ancestors originated from, which was in London. That's where she was born. And it got me thinking, like, man, if 100 years into the future, if I had like a great grandson or something who went to look me up in some part of the world, that would be so crazy. But really, that's the same thing as what I had done, just in the opposite direction. So that was amazing.
So while you guys are on tour, you usually receive a lot of gifts from fans. Do you have any specific fan arts that that stand out to you or that you just really like?
Oh, all of them. Any fan art, so some of them are like super realistic. Some of them are more abstract. Some of them are in the style of like a Tim Burton film. I love seeing all kinds. And actually Cassidy here does amazing artwork too. If you people didn't know, Actually, you've drawn me on a handful of occasions, and
Yeah.
every time I'm like, wow, I don't know. It's something that I wish I could do. I've tried to
Right.
draw people, and it just looks terrible. So
Mhm.
I mean, you can draw
actually,
a pineapple, so
I'm pretty good at drawing fruit, but I wish I could draw people. I don't know if you guys seen. I don't know if this was shared publicly, but I drew all of the band members one time backstage in our dressing room. Do
I
people
have
know
that
about that?
picture on my phone somewhere.
You're gonna have
Oh,
to send that
Yeah.
to me.
it's pretty hilarious. So we
Yeah.
were in a dressing room, which was because we were playing in an arena, so it was a hockey dressing room, and there's a whiteboard where coaches normally run practice drills on. And I just took it upon myself to draw every single person in the band, and I was going for full on realism. Like I was trying to make it look like
oh
photorealism,
no.
and it did not turn out that way. And we all had a good laugh. And yeah, I hopefully it's still up there right now. I mean it's probably been erased because I'm sure somebody else has used the room. But yeah, oh yeah, and what was funny too is earlier that day, a fan had met me in the parking lot. I was outside filming a video, and he gave me drawings that he had done of each of us that looked amazing. Like you would have thought they were like photographs of us. And so we put each of those pro drawings next to my terrible drawings just to show how bad I really was at it. And that was a pretty fun day.
I can't remember who it was. Somebody had posted it on their Instagram story,
Yeah,
and I
don't
saw
know.
that, and I was just like, all right, Picasso.
Yeah, it was a good time.
When you are not on the road touring with Blackville Brides, you could still find work to do in Vancouver. Do you have any fun, interesting projects that you are currently working on?
Yeah. I mean, I try to stay occupied. Or I mean, well, I don't even really have to try. I'm really lucky these days. You know, there seems to be no shortage of work, which is great. Yeah, I've got a few gigs in town that I do. You know, I'm playing a couple times at this hotel in Vancouver, playing cover gigs in May, and next week I'm playing at a restaurant, and then doing a restaurant on Thursday, and then I'm doing a hotel on Saturday, and then I'm playing at a marathon on Sunday. Like there's a marathon, people running, and I guess I'm playing on the side of the road or something. I don't really know. So a singer's hiring me to play chords for them while they sing, so I'm just playing guitar. So I don't really know any details. I never know any details. I just kind of show up and prepare the music. But yeah, so you know, so it's hard to maintain local gigs though when you're touring so much because everyone just assumes you're out of town all the time. So you know, I've been touring a lot since maybe like 2015 or so. Prior to that, I would play like 5 or 6 nights a week in town just with different artists, and that was kind of my full-time thing. Since I started touring, that's slowed down a lot. Now my in-town work isn't as steady, but I make up for it in other ways too. I've been doing production and mixing for artists. I'm working with this singer from here named Desmond Day, and we've put out a few songs that I've produced for him and played guitar and bass on and programmed drums and everything like that. And that's been really fun. Him and I are actually working on a new song right now called House Upon the Rock. That's going to be coming out next month, and we've got a music video that we filmed for it too. So yeah, I don't know. I've always got stuff going on between that, running my YouTube channel. You know, there's always odd jobs popping up here and there related to music somehow. So yeah, I'm lucky. But my passion is touring though. That's what I love.
Yeah. So when you're working, when you're not working, you're working.
Oh man, it's so funny because people are always like, "Oh, you're home from tour, you can finally relax." And I am so much busier at home than when I'm on tour. I mean, you know, I never have a moment off on tour either, but when I'm at home, it's like, okay, that's when I got to make up for lost time and kind of get all my other projects going again. So there's really no time off, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, no. So yeah. So besides all the gigs that you get to do, like you had mentioned, also if anybody who's watching, check out Desmond Day's music and stuff. I follow him and stuff on Instagram, and yeah, if you want to keep up with what Lonny's doing, go follow him
Oh,
and find
thanks,
him
Cassidy.
on Spotify and stuff. Yeah, of course.
Thanks. Yeah,
Um,
he's got a great voice. He's super talented. I would check out the song Purple Sun first.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite one that him and I have collaborated on together. He writes the music and he sings on him, and I do the drums and the guitars and the bass. And
Is he a Jimi Hendrix fan?
yeah, actually, that's where the song origin comes from. So
I knew it.
just a quick tangent. He's endorsed by a guitar company from Vancouver Island called what's the company called? I'm forgetting the name of the company, but anyways, the guy who builds the guitars, he built guitars out of the wood from Jimi Hendrix's childhood home that was torn down, and this guy went and salvaged the wood, built a bunch of guitars. They're called Joy guitars, Joi. And yeah, he made wood out of the guitars from Jimi Hendrix's home. So Desmond got one of the guitars and he wrote a few songs using those guitars that are in tribute to Jimi Hendrix. There's Purple Sun, and Black Gold is another one that we did together. So you can check both of those out on Spotify.
Yeah, that's so rad. Like you mentioned, you work on your YouTube channel and stuff. You do vlogs. I used to do some covers and playthroughs and stuff. So what are some videos we can that you'll eventually like release, or something that the fans kind of look forward to seeing from you?
Yeah. So right now, I mentioned earlier, I'm working on this cover of this Audio Slave song. That's partly why my voice sounds so raspy now, is because I'm trying to sing a little more. I've always been shy of my voice, and never thought of myself as really a good singer, but I'm like, you know what? It's good to go out of our comfort zone. So I'll see if I can throw something together. So that cover is going to be coming out soon. And also, I filmed a vlog 6 months ago in Mexico City when we played there opening for Bring Me the Horizon. For whatever reason, it's been eluding me to edit it. And I haven't edited it yet, but I just started this week. So I'm like halfway through. So anyways, it's going to be better late than never situation, but it's going to be a pretty sweet video. That's on my radar at the moment too.
Awesome. Yeah, we're all looking forward to it. So
it's going to be good. I think it's going to be my best one. So
The vlogs are by far probably my favorite videos. I love vlogs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lonny's setting the bar super high for anybody who does like vlogs and stuff. It's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks.
You're very interactive with the people around you too. When you do the vlogs, I see you talking to people outside, even with the tech guys and stuff, and that's really cool, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I try to just I don't know. I try to think what would I want to see if I was watching them, and I don't know. I like saying hi to fans outside. I think that's like you said, it's pretty interactive. And since I was a fan of the band before joining, I don't see myself as above anybody who's in the audience or anything. Like, none of us do, of course, but that's why I'm not afraid to just go out and say hi to fans who are waiting to get inside the venue. And I'm one of them, so that's why I love hearing their point of view. And so a lot of times people are nice enough to be in my videos, so I'm always open to that.
Mm-hmm. And kind of just speaking about our favorite kinds of videos that you do, what are some of your favorite videos, like categorized wise? Like, do you like the vlogs, guitar reviews, comparison videos? What are some of your favorite?
Yeah, I like the vlogs too. I really like making the vlogs. It really I don't know. It makes touring a lot more engaging for me too, because I'm always scripting what I'm going to say in the videos. More so talking points and just thinking about which shows I want to film at, editing during the afternoons. And they're also fun to look back on years later too, even a few months later. Like I can always look back on the day that we got to open for Metallica, and to have that documented in a video, that's pretty awesome. I look forward to the day when I'm like 70 years old and I can watch these vlogs that I'm making from our tours right now. Hopefully we'll still be touring, and hopefully I'll still be making videos then, if anybody wants to watch an old gray-haired guy on YouTube. But I don't know. I like the vlogs, I guess, to answer your question.
So also one thing that some people may not know about you, besides, you doing your gigs, playing for Black Veil Brides, being pretty active with the YouTube channel and everything, and also your Patreon, you also teach guitar lessons on the side, which I did not know until I met Victoria. So I think that's pretty awesome that you get to teach people like Victoria how to play guitar and stuff. And I just want to know how do you like it, and what do you find the most difficult about teaching remotely, as well as what do you like most about it?
Yeah, the teaching I do is all remotely these days. It's funny because I started teaching after my first big tour I did was 2016, and I was opening for a band Mariana's Trench, which are some good friends of mine. And so this was kind of, as I mentioned earlier in the interview, I was doing a lot of in-town work, playing with a lot of artists in town before that. And then I started working with Sean Hook, and I went on that tour, and I got back and I noticed that I'd kind of been replaced in all of my bands that I've been working with in town because I was away for a while, and that's kind of how things work. And I was like, crap. And I didn't really have any other income streams. So I was like, well, I guess I'll see if I can do some Skype lessons. And that's kind of how it started. And, these days it's not really something I advertise because I'm so busy as it is. But, if somebody approaches me, I'm happy to show them a thing or two and, teach some lessons to people. And yeah, that's how I met Victoria here. Right. So, but yeah, I think the biggest limitation with teaching remotely is just that you can't play with the student at the same time because of the lag with the internet. So like normally, if we're working on something, if we were in the same room together, I would jam it with them or play chords while they play lead or whatever it would be. You can't do that remotely. So the workaround is I'll create backing tracks of myself playing, and I'll email them to the student so that they can play on top of that. So it's like they're playing with me, even though it's not in real time.
That's awesome.
We've tried many times to play with each other.
Well, maybe you guys just need to go to a marathon and then try it out there.
Yeah. It's going to be an awesome gig.
I've never heard of a band playing at a marathon before. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I've never played at it before. But so I think we're just going to be like at the finish line. I don't know. We're playing like 3 hours of music. It's all covers. So.
And before it's all just Final Countdown on repeat.
Yeah. We'll be just doing like Eye of the Tiger and like pump up stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love doing all kinds of gigs, and it's fun for me to. I like taking the chance to play guitar live these days because all the touring I'm doing is playing bass, which is super fun too. But I do miss playing guitar on stage. So any chance I get to do that, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
To wrap things up here, we have a few fun questions to ask you, one each, and Ian has the first one.
I do. Okay, Lonny, way back in the day, I do not remember when on earth it was. I heard somewhere that you were once, I think it was on the Andy show. You were pursuing stand-up comedy. Is this still a thing?
I was, yeah. When I was in high school, I actually wrote like a full act of jokes that I was planning on doing at an open mic because it was like actually a career path that I always knew I was going to do music, and this wasn't going to get in the way of that, but I thought I could maybe do both, or at least be something that I would try a couple times. And I still have the journal that I wrote everything in, full of the act, and I never did it. I just, it's one of those things that I was all talk, and I had full intentions of doing it. Like I wasn't messing with anybody, but I don't know, music got in the way, and it's something I never did, and I don't think I ever will at this point. but it was a dream of mine
Darn.
that
Yeah,
didn't pan
right?
out.
I would so go to a Lonny Eagleton stand-up show.
Dude, you need
Oh.
to ask the guys in Blackville to let you open one time.
Oh my God. I would not. No, if I did it, it would be like in the most random city, like small town open mic. I would do it in like, I don't know, what's a small town?
Literally any place in the Midwest.
Perfect. I would go
Yep.
there, make sure nobody I knew was there. I don't know if yeah, I probably wouldn't be good is the thing. So it would just be for self-fulfillment.
Well, if anybody boos, I'll probably be the only person that's cheering. So
Oh, well, thank you.
My question is that actually Ian came up with, but I'm asking it. Lonnie, if you had an eagle for a day, what would you do with it?
Wow. I guess I would just have it perched on my shoulder, hanging out with me.
Yeah, baby.
You know, looking all badass with my eagle. What else are you gonna do with an eagle? Just, I don't know. You could draw it, I guess. I
you
don't
could
know.
go fishing with it.
Ooh,
I
Yeah.
heard they're good fishers.
That could be
That's
cool
true.
too.
That's true.
I guess there's a lot you could do.
Just
If you
throwing
hadn't-
ideas out there.
If you had an eagle, I wouldn't go near you because I'm just terrified of any birds of any kind. So nope.
Especially chickens.
Yeah, don't even. We're not even gonna go there right now. I hate chickens. I'm terrified of chickens. There's many chicken stories I have, but there's not enough time today. I'm not a bird person, and pigs too. Ian knows why I'm scared of pigs, but I don't have time for that today. To even
Well, I guess
dive
that
into
means
that.
I guess since you're not a fan of pigs, I guess you can't come to Iowa then, because there's more swine than human people
Ooh,
here. So
okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling
Dude,
me.
I
that.
want a pet.
You're welcome.
pig.
Like I want a pet teacup pig, but I don't want it to grow up to be the full
big
pig.
pig, yeah.
So I don't know if there's a way
Just the
around
mini
that. I think you're stuck with both because they don't exist just small, do they?
I have no idea.
I don't think there's a type of pig that just stays small because there's like a type of cat that stays like a small cat.
Like
Yeah,
I think they're sand
the little
cats.
munchkin
I'm pretty
ones.
sure
I
they're
just
sand
want a
cats.
baby pig, but I don't want an adult pig. These are the kind of problems I have to face on a daily basis. So
So my fun question that I had for you was if you could be any mythical creature from the Harry Potter series book or from the movies, what would you be?
I would be actually a mythical creature from everyday life here on Earth, which is a wolfin. And it's a whale and a dolphin mix. I actually saw one in Hawaii. It was the only known one to exist in the world. And I saw it when I was there as a child on vacation. Wolfin. It looked like a dark dolphin that was a little bigger. And yeah, mythical
That's so
creature
weird.
for real life. That's what I would be. It's my favorite animal.
A wolfen.
Well, what?
I've literally never heard of that.
There's
Fuck?
only one. Yeah,
What?
they're rare. They're
What
super
do they even
rare.
look like? What the
A wolfen.
Yeah, check it out.
It sounds like a medication.
Oh, I really want this to look. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was a killer whale and a dolphin mix.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they were in the
Wait,
same
hold on.
tank and people didn't think anything would happen.
That looks like a regular. Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. I think I found it.
Yeah.
Why is? Oh, okay.
That's what I would choose.
Interesting. I've never heard of that before.
Now you have. I can't top the Wolfen story.
No.
So
That's perfect. I think that's a good way to end this. That'll leave everyone
Yeah.
just wondering.
seeing that Wolfen shaped me into the man I turned out to be today. So
I gotta do more research with this Wolfen after we are done the Zoom call.
yeah. Well, thanks for having me, guys. Though this was super fun. Hope we can do it again.
Yes. it was
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Thank you for joining us. This was a blast.
Anytime.
Thank you so
And-
much.
Thank you, Ian and Victoria, for having me on again.
Of
Yeah.
course, Cassidy, you are always a delight to talk to. So
Absolutely.